defenders are 16 yards away. By the time he recovers it and begins his forward motion 3 full seconds later, they're only 2 yards away. But Jackson's mistake actually draws the Giants out of their lanes, giving him the opening he needs. Jackson reaches the end zone in 50 strides, but by just his 3rd forward step, he's passed 7 defenders, and 3 steps later, he passes the 8th. At this point, Dodge could have redeemed himself and cut off Jackson, but instead, he hesitates. Now, it's pure math. Jackson is moving at about 18 miles per hour and is capable of accelerating to over 20 miles per hour. There are only a handful of guys in the league, like Chris Johnson and Jacoby Ford, who would be able to catch Jackson before he turns it upfield. But Dodge isn't in that class, and his nearly 5-second 40-yard dash time means that, as long as Jackson cuts an angle between approximately 41 and 79 degrees, it's physically impossible for Dodge to catch Jackson. And finally, the last line of defense, Zach DeSean, is jacked up by wide receiver Jason Avant. Based on tests in our lab done with a player of similar size, at the moment of impact, DeSean could have experienced as much as 50 Gs. That's over 5 times the amount of force a fighter pilot experiences in a roll. And by the time Jackson passes the 40-yard line, there are only 7 Giants in pursuit. The other 4 are either face down or flat on their back. For Sports Science on ESPN, I'm John Brinkins.
All right, meantime, Devin Hester set the NFL record with his 14th kick return for a touchdown, running back a punt 64 yards, helping the Bears crush the Vikings Monday night. So even with the DeSean Jackson run back to end a game and a tremendous comeback, it is Devin Hester named the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Jay, not often do we go for these Special Teams Player of the Week VOs, but here we go. For the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week, yes, Big Dan Connolly, 6'4", 313, 71 yards back against Green Bay. Longest ever for an NFL offensive lineman. Bill Belichick today said it's, opportunity and preparation that made it happen. Connolly works very hard every week on special teams, and he did make it happen. So, game on the line, 1 kickoff, a punt return for your team. Who do you want to take that kick? Go ahead, say it. Connolly. Yeah, really. If he's in the room at the same time, sitting next to me on the set. Devin Hester is the all-time great. DeSean Jackson, the latest speedster and the fastest among the 3. But again, Connolly, ball conscious, ball control all the way. Very safe with the football. Other news now. At this point, Pacquiao Mayweather, not even really hoped for. Mayweather facing a number of felony and misdemeanor charges and seemingly uninterested in the fight. Manny Pacquiao, though, fights on. And his next opponent announced today, and it's Sugar Shane Mosley.